There has been a boom in home gardening since COVID took over our lives. You had people locked down at home and fears of food shortages emerging. I talked with a Baton Rouge woman who is among the legion of gardeners, and she says while the fresh food is great, it is about much more than that. So how did it evolve? How did you decide to do it? Long before COVID clamped down hard on the life we knew, Kathleen Pourciau of Baton Rouge had been floating the idea of planting a vegetable garden. But it took a bout with the winter blues at the same time pandemic lockdowns forced people home to bring her along to the next step in her decision-making process.
And I was laying in that bed in front of the window, and my daughter gave me a phone with all these gardens on Pinterest, and it just kind of piqued my interest in it.
Sparked something. You've never done this before?
I had always loved flowers, but in vegetables intimidated me.
Intimidation or not, it was coming time to plant. So daughter Bonnie Kate became cheerleader and closer of the deal.
We've always had this empty space on the side of our house, and Mom was like, oh, I really want to do a garden, and everyone else was kind of like, that's a huge undertaking and overwhelming to think about the planning and the layout of everything. And so I was like so excited, like, let's do this, let's go for it. And I had an iPad and helped her sketch out her ideas in her brain, and it was so much fun to dream and scheme and envision it all.
She was my partner in it. She was very helpful, incredibly helpful, and instructional, and in ways that I loved and appreciated.
Kathleen also happened to be the only one in her family covering many generations who never quite learned the skills to grow crops. Her mom says all these events came together at the right time to set the table for her daughter.
She got my brother, Wilmer Mills, to come and help her a little bit on the boxes, tell her what kind of dirt to put in. And he gave her a few pointers. I think he was very encouraging. He was positive.
As Kathleen's work began, if she needed answers, she knew where to go.
Every time I go to the nursery, I ask questions to anybody I run into.
Well, I guess when you had your children and nurtured and raised them, you didn't know that much about it, but you learned, and so you're learning this.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing.
It really is. It's nice, and people are willing to help you.
And this season's finished product? It's a flowing mix of vegetables that casually coexist with flowers and fruit trees, pathways and spaces that lead to areas to read a book in solitude, or multiple expansive tables covered in candles for dining al fresco.
It was really fun to make the most of every square foot outside, and I wanted to just facilitate people being able to enjoy each other, and without having to go and grab something and set it up and hang it up or whatever, just be able to walk outside and have places to connect.
But even all that is not Kathleen's favorite part.
Everyone felt the excitement of seeing the first tomato ripen or eating salad with our things in it. I mean, everyone felt that, and also they would come over and sit in the arbor. We just gathered around it.
It was so nice to just be able to be outside together, eat yummy things. I mean, I think it's one of our favorite parts, it is our favorite part of the yard for sure.
And because a true gardener's work is never done, Kathleen is of course already planning for the next season.